Good morning. You're watching Much Ado About Something, and I'm Donna. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been around a while, welcome back. This is my mother. I'd like to introduce you to her.
I'm only her mama. She never called me mother.
Yep.
Hello, how are you?
She's my Appalachian mother.
I see it.
My Appalachian Mama.
Sick mama.
She's doing much better today, and hopefully I can get back to my regularly scheduled videos, and maybe Mama will be there in some of them too, because she might be coming home with me for a little while. It's a beautiful day today. It was very, very cold and rainy yesterday, but it's looking sunnier and better today. Me and Mama, she wanted to share a few Appalachian memories with you. And I wanted to talk with her so y'all would know what it was like growing up in the Appalachian Mountains when she was little. Mama, did your family, did they pick apples?
Yeah, but that was before I got big enough to, after I got big enough to help. A lot of times, Daddy was a bootlegger.
Okay.
And then my mama always worked in a textile mill.
Yeah.
And
It's chirping at me. Yeah.
Half the time we were starved. We thought we was, but we couldn't have nothing but a piece of bread. Sometimes a piece of bread and a pot of beans.
Yep, you had beans and
Some days we were blessed. We'd have some beans and some taters together,
and y'all
once in a while Mama would make some salmon patties and we eat them.
Yeah, and there was something that you hated to do that y'all did, and that was kill hogs, right?
Yeah.
You hated to do that.
Yeah, 'cause I had to take a piece of glass and scrape that old scurvy off of them.
Yeah.
And they stunk too.
Yeah, that was a hard job too.
Yes, it was bad. But I like to eat meat.
Yeah, so y'all had a lot of pork.
And I loved the liver. Nobody else didn't care enough about it but me.
Well, the liver is so good for you, ain't it, Mama? Now, what about when it got so cold? What happened when it snowed and they were?
At one time, that was after I'd done got almost grown. We lived in the East Sowires Mountain in Cana, Virginia, and it snowed, and we had cracks so big in the walls and then all around the windows until it snowed through there and get all over our quilts, so it was rotten and had big old holes in them to start with. So God kept us through the years. That's the only way we made it.
Yeah, and what did they do out there for y'all? What did y'all have to?
They come and brought us a helicopter full of food, and we had to put a black blanket out there on the snow so they'd know where to drop it at.
Yeah.
That's how deep the snow was.
I remember seeing pictures where the snow was all the way up to the bridge right there at the Sidney Allen house. The snow was all the way up that bridge.
Yeah, but we was
on further up.
No, back farther, and then on the mountain by itself.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember you telling me your mama went and picked, in the spring, she went and picked the tops off of blackberries.
Yeah, she'd pull the tender leaves off the blackberries, and she'd get all the tender leaves off the poke salad, and she'd get all kinds of plantain and all kinds of greens like that. She'd get all up together and make some of the best salads.
I know. And we call that foraging. Foraging. When you go do that now, that was just a way of life for y'all, but y'all were foraging and didn't even know.
We were just eating.
Yeah, there you go.
Now I have been hungry. I'd go out to apple tree where apples had fell in the winter and give me a little froze apple out of the dirt and eat it.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, it was bad, but God brought us through.
Yeah. Well, you know, I remember you cooking a lot of apples when we were little. Stewed apples.
I just done that for y'all, but I don't like them.
I know, but you probably ate enough of them. But, you know, I still love them over biscuits. You know, you taught me how to make biscuits when I was 6 years old.
We cat heads.
That's right, cat head biscuits. Why did they call them cat heads?
Because it was about to be around.
Yeah.
About that big.
I had a viewer that told me that my biscuits wasn't cat heads. And I told him if it got any bigger than that, it would be a pone, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a pone of bread.
I used to bake a lot of pones too. It was a lot easier.
Yeah.
Just bake it and then flop it in the pan.
And they taste about the same, don't they?
Exactly.
You just break them apart. They wasn't as fancy.
Had a little more crust. Better, I thought.
And when you made your biscuits, how did you and your mama and everybody make biscuits? They didn't use a fancy biscuit cutter, did they?
No,
We shaped them in our hands, didn't we?
Yeah.
But you made them so good.
After I got them made up like I wanted them, I just pinch off a piece, flatten it out, just go around, shape it up.
Yeah, I did a video and showed them exactly how you taught me how to do it. Yeah. And there's quite a few people that know how to make Appalachian cat head biscuits because of that video. Isn't that something?
I got something my mama was the one taught me to make bread.
I know.
But
and then you taught
I guess
me.
Everybody in the whole mountain knows how to make just fried bread, what Junior calls rubber bread.
Yeah, I did a video on that,
just
Mama.
Mix water and bread, flour.
Yeah.
If you cook it on real slow and get it good and brown so it starts bubbling on top, then turn it over and then turn the burner off, that'll finish browning on the bottom. That's all it likes then.
And you have to watch it because if you don't, it'll scorch black, won't it?
Not if you put it on really low.
Yeah. But if it's scorched, we just eat it anyway, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, we did too.
And when you put it over into your plate, you just cut it up like a pizza, right? Like slices, like
well, y'all, I did for y'all, but for us, we just grabbed us a hunk.
Yeah. How many of you were there in your family?
I was 10, and my oldest sister got pregnant at 13, so that made 11.
Yeah.
And not all of them's gone, but
3.
4.
4.
No, yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Me and me.
I've been sharing a little bit of the stories that you tell me about the exciting things that went on the mountain. I've been sharing with them. Remember when we visited Granny Tate and we would just roll down that hill?
Yeah.
And she was 98 years old and made us biscuits on her wood stove.
Oh, yeah.
And I got a picture of that day, of Granny Tate that day, sitting on her porch with her geraniums and her coffee cans and her milk jugs.
Yeah.
And I was sharing with everybody how much I loved those herbs, and I'm a lot like Granny Tate, don't you think?
Yes, you are a lot like her.
Yeah.
And that way, anyhow.
I got the love of that, didn't I?
Yes, and Granny had a giving heart, and you got a giving heart.
Oh.
And Granny just...
She delivered babies, didn't she?
She was a midwife.
Yeah.
And she loved the Lord, and the Lord loved her. She loved the Lord. I mean, she would talk to me sometimes and she'd start shouting.
I know she delivered you when you were born, didn't she?
Yeah.
She delivered all of your siblings, didn't she? Most of them.
Well, most anyway. If Mom and Daddy was living around her anywhere, she delivered them. Oh, my neck.
Yeah, you just talk about what you want to. You know, our way of life, your way of life, and the way you raised us, that's a unique way of life to the Appalachian Mountains. And that fried bread, where did you tell me that probably come from? Didn't that probably come from Native Americans?
I believe it did.
The Native Indians? That's Indian bread up there?
Yeah.
Knew a
They
lot.
still make it up there.
Yeah, I know. I've had comments and they tell me they still make it.
I still make it once in a while.
Yeah, me and Donald like to make it and put mayonnaise in
Big
it.
old hunk of tomato.
Yeah, a fresh garden tomato, Lord. That man could eat that every day.
I can too, babe.
Ain't that delicious to be so simple?
Yeah. Well, I was raised simple, so that was the best way.
Yes.
Oh, my neck. You wouldn't know how much I've missed my neck pillar.
Oh yeah, I do now. How long did Granny Tate live? What age was she?
104.
104. Ain't that something?
And she loved poke salad and hog jaw.
Yeah. Well, when you say poke salad, that's the low stuff growing on the ground.
Oh, it's a bush. It'll make a big bush.
Has them berries on it?
Yeah, but after the leaves start turning red on the back, you don't eat it no more.
Right, and that's the one you have to boil 2 or 3 times.
2 times before you
And you can never eat the berries, right?
Right.
But y'all did use the berries to stain some fabric and stuff sometimes, didn't you? You dyed your fabric.
We dyed each other.
Ah. What about the Mama? There's a big movement about living off the grid. People don't have running water and electricity. What have you got to say about that?
They get used to it. I did.
You was raised off grid, wasn't you?
Had none at all.
Way up in the mountains, wasn't you?
We had kerosene oil lamps. Sometimes we had the oil, sometimes we didn't.
Right.
And we had a spring down in the woods.
You had to carry your water to your house, didn't you?
Yes.
And then if you had any kind of hot water, how'd y'all heat that?
Put it in a pot and ate. Put it on a wood cook stove.
That's right. And you were born and raised off grid, wasn't you?
If that's what they want to call it.
Yeah, that's what they call it
I
now.
just call it live.
That's right. You was doing it before it was cool.
Yeah, Daddy. We thought it was pretty cool though. Sometimes we get us some bologna and then make us a sandwich. That was good.
It was good fried on that wood stove, wasn't it?
Yes, it was good.
Bologna was a fancy food for y'all, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Especially on a piece of light bread.
That's right. That's
and
right.
Now everybody don't want no light bread, and they want biscuits. But light bread's what we was already talking about.
It was a treat. And tell them about when you picked apples or worked out on a farm, and what did y'all do? Y'all walked to the store and got you some what?
We walked to the store and get us what was them drinks?
Knee-high?
The 16-ounce drinks, whatever they were.
Yeah.
We'd get enough to get each one of us one of them. And the time we got home with it, it was done empty. So.
You needed another one, didn't you?
Yeah.
How far would you say you had to walk to get your drink?
About 3-4 miles.
Yeah, ain't that something? You walked 3 or 4 miles to get you what did y'all call it? A pop? A pop, yeah. And then by the time you got home, you needed another one.
Yeah. If I'd have had the money, I couldn't have walked back that much.
When y'all were growing up, and your mama and them bought flour in them big sacks, what did y'all do with them sacks when you got finished with them?
Mama make us some dresses, and the boys some shirts, and breeches when they're good.
Yeah, and y'all used them as dish towels and make quilts out of them?
Yeah, and they used to come in for free and sugar and flour, little bags of flour.
Yeah.
And the bigger ones, it was always a big old piece of dish and plate. You gotta see it now.
Oh yeah, yeah, and oatmeal. I think oatmeal had some dishes in it.
Had some.
Yeah.
Pretty.
I think I got 1 or 2 of them dishes.
What they call them?
Depression
rice.
Yeah.
We get some of them quite often in that old oatmeal.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a break and let you eat, and then we're going to find out some more about it, okay?
You did hear me say that old oatmeal?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Well, it was just fresh cut oatmeal. There wasn't no instant to it, was it?
No.
You had to chew it a little bit, didn't you?
No, what I'm talking about is Mama had to put so much sugar in it, slimy,
Oh, did you?
and it wasn't good.
Well, what about molasses? Did y'all have molasses?
Yes, we even made them back like them.
Yeah. I like them. I still make molasses cookies, and I make my own brown sugar sometimes. Let's see, what else can we tell them about that they think would be pretty interesting about?
One time, my brother that was 2 years older than me, he went to work in the backer that day, and I had to stay home and fix supper and stuff like that for everybody else. And I cooked a big old pot of taters, stewed taters, and after we all got through eating, Jim hadn't never got home yet. So I put some dishwater in that pot for it to soak. And when Jim come home, he got him a piece of bread and stuck it down in that dishwater and got him a big old bite and said, "This tater soup tastes soapy." He ate anyway.
He was eating the dishwater and didn't realize it, wasn't he? Well, there was 11 of y'all. There was 10 of you, and then your sister had her baby, and that joined the family.
Mom and Daddy.
And you had your mom and daddy. So there was 13. If he didn't get there and get him something fast, he wasn't going to get much, was he?
Well, he had been working all day for about 25 cents an hour. He could have bought him a little something.
Yeah. I make fried apple pies, and you like my fried apple pies, don't you?
Oh, I love fried apple pie.
They made just like you.
That's the only way I'll eat a cooked apple.
Yeah, that's the way they've been made all of your life and your mama's and them.
Yeah.
Who made them and sold them? Somebody used to make them fried apple pies and sell them. Was it your mama?
No, Granny.
Granny? I remember that. I remember her talking about selling them fried apple pies. Lord, they were good, wasn't they?
Oh, yeah.
I think I make mine a little bit smaller than she made hers. Hers was big old generous ones, wasn't they?
Oh, Lord, the one you brought me was that big as this plate.
Oh, well, that's a compliment. That makes me think I've done good when you tell me.
Delicious, too, and I eat it.
I'm going to have to make you some more soon, ain't I?
Yeah, my sugar's been running fine, so.
And what's something else I make that you love that I try to make for you every Christmas?
Fruitcake.
Is that the best fruit cake you ever ate?
The best fruitcake I ever ate.
Oh,
That was the best fried apple pie I'd ever eat, too.
oh, well, that's a real compliment right there. I think I picked up a lot of them skills. I always paid attention. I admired them and I liked them. And when I was little, what would you find me doing?
Cooking. Oh, when you was real little, you'd be out in the field, picking little flowers and crying.
When I was about 2 or 3 years old, that's how that would be, wasn't it?
Yeah. Not out in the field, just out in the yard.
Yeah, but y'all's yards were huge.
Yeah.
It would be like a field to people today.
Yeah, and you'd get, I don't know why you're crying, pinching her heads off. Crying because you'd pinch her head off, I reckon.
I was harvesting herbs at an early age.
I guess so. Because now some of them you pulled off, if you had them now, you'd eat them.
Yeah, that's right. I've shared with a lot the people here watching you. I have shared a lot of in my past videos all the herbs we used to harvest, like the comfrey. I make the comfrey salve and goldenrod and plantain and nasturtiums and yeah. Yeah, I know your mama called it something else, but we called it, they recognize it as plantain. What did your mama call it? That little flat leaf? Poke.
If she's talking to anybody, I'll call it planting.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause
Talking about that poach,
yeah.
salad.
Sometimes they don't understand Appalachian terms. They're not common, so we have to find the common terms so that everybody will understand what we're talking about. So they can research it and look it up and see what it is. But Donald, when we went up to see Debbie and Wayne, Donald found some chestnuts right there by the river. They're in a hole, and there was 2 of them in each hole. Did y'all ever harvest chestnuts?
Oh, yeah. We loved them things, so. It was after I got rolling head youngins, I found out every chestnut's got a worm in it. Unless you get it before it hits the ground.
Yeah. And what about pawpaws? Did you eat a lot of pawpaws?
Yeah.
I saw some pawpaws up there at Debbie's and them, and they wasn't ripe, so I left them and went back to get them, and the deer had eat them.
We used to sing a little old song, picking up pawpaws.
Yeah.
Putting them in my pocket.
That was those were delicious. Me and Donald went up on the mountain and foraged some blackberries when they were in season, and a man stopped his truck and was telling us where some wild raspberries were. Did y'all pick wild raspberries? Little red
them. Oh, yeah.
wineberries. Some people call them wineberries. Yeah, they were really good. Well, me and Mama wanted to share some Appalachian stories with you today.
Be back later.
She said she'd be back later. We wanted to just share some of the times we were talking about them, and I said, well, let me just get the camera out, and we'll record some of them and we'll share them. I'm up here at the hospital with Mama today. She's doing really good, and she'll probably be able to either go to a rehab or come to my house soon. And if she does, we'll get more Appalachian stories with you about when she grew up. There are so many hilarious and very informative.
Oh, tell them I didn't have no shoes.
I showed a video, Mama, where I was barefooted out there feeding the animals, and I told them we didn't grow up wearing shoes all the time, did we?
No, but I hardly ever had any.
Yeah, shoes was a luxury. But she had a protective layer like you wouldn't believe. She could walk on gravel and walk on briars.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
And sometimes somebody would give us one pair of brogans, and Jean would wear them to school one day, and I'd wear them a day. And we finally got worked into where we could go to the Goodwill and buy some old shoes for 10 cents a pair.
Yeah. And we still like the Goodwill today, me and you do, don't we?
I love to go there, but
I think we about getting Debbie to like it too. She found her some deals the last
I
time.
bet you I got 200 pair of shoes just because I didn't use to have none.
And you know, I've got so many blankets, and I think it came from us being in that old cold house.
Yeah, every old house we lived in.
And our
nice growing up.
Yeah, but you know that going without shoes, they call that grounding. Do you feel the earth and the vibrations of the earth?
I stayed grounded.
We did stay grounded, didn't we? And I have yet to show them some pictures, but I want to show them that picture of me and Betsy when we were just little, and we were in our terry cloth underpants, and we didn't have on any shoes. All we had on was them terry cloth panties, and that's how we run around for the first few summers of our life, wasn't it?
My mama made them where she worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Home to her.
She sure did. I think ours were yellow, the ones we had
They were
on.
all different colors.
Yeah.
Whatever the color was that day, she'd bring a bunch of them home.
Yeah, I'll have to be sure to include that picture or show them on another video, a picture of me and Betsy running around like that. And we played in the dirt, didn't we? Me and Betsy played in the dirt. You didn't want us to, but Daddy let us, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I would make mud pies.
Everybody said it was healthy, but I thought it was nasty.
Well, you don't get sick as often when you grow up playing in the dirt. Well, I used to catch little tadpoles and frogs, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I would catch them little tadpoles, them little frogs that had just come from the tadpole, tiny little things, and I'd put them in a tin can, and the next morning I'd go to get them, and they were all dried up, and I'd cry about that, wouldn't I?
There's another thing you probably had on your mind.
Yeah.
I've seen it rain frogs in my life.
Yep.
I really did. There'd come a storm and they'd little peeps would just fall on the ground.
Ain't that something?
I used to get me a handful of them.
Yeah.
And I'll jump away.
And then later, what did Daddy do with them big old, well, you probably ate them growing up too.
No, I didn't. I wouldn't eat them.
The big old bullfrog legs?
Frog legs and eat old mud turtles.
I bet your brother ate them, didn't he?
Yeah,
Your brothers.
Sure, yeah, all the brothers.
Yeah, Donald loves frog legs too.
But this one didn't eat strange things. They eat a whole lot of them things like that.
I know.
That's what I'd go find me a frozen apple or something else.
We have had a possum coming around our rabbits, and Donald set out a trap for it, and we caught him. And little Stormy went back there to feed the rabbits with me, and she said, "Grammy, look." And it was a little possum in that trap. We took it across the street, and we let it go. Well, a few days later, we come back, and there was another possum in the trap. We sprayed a little orange spot on him. That's what Ellie said. She said, "Grampy sprayed a little orange spot on him so we can tell if we're catching the same possum or not."
But did you know Daddy never would let a possum loose? He'd keep it in a cage for about a week.
And eat it.
Eat it, fresh vegetables and stuff.
Yeah.
And he'd eat that greasy things.
Oh, yeah. They ate possum. They ate groundhog and everything, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, get your trash.
You know, most people don't realize we've lived a pretty interesting life, hadn't we?
Yeah, but yours was, I tried to make y'all's as interesting, but mine wasn't interesting. Mine was hard.
Yeah, it was hard. Having to raise everything you eat and walk to get everything you got. And, well, a bootlegger, you said your daddy was a bootlegger for most of the time, but he did work in the orchard some too, right?
I knew when the youngins could work with him.
Remember when me and you picked apples from that tree back there that blowed over? And you said it brought back memories of you having an apple sack?
Yeah. Great big old sack around their neck and waist.
Canvas, wasn't it? Big old canvas sack.
Canvas bag.
Yeah. Well, we'll try to get some more footage about this stuff. If you like this kind of content and you like this kind of video, then like and subscribe. Leave me a comment to tell me what you liked. And I will see you, like always, until next time.
You'll probably get a whole lot of questions on that one.
You think?
I could have told them, but I didn't really.